Winter arc isn't just a season, it's a lifestyle, right? That's the title of the video, and that's what I'm coming on here to talk about. Now, quick disclaimer, before I get into the video, obviously, if you could tell by my voice, yes, I'm under the weather, yes, I'm sick. That's what we coming on here, and that's what we getting to talking about. Alright, so with that being said, we're going to break down everything else to the video, right? Now, the question that you may be asking or having now, what is the winter arc, right? Now, this is something that, people in the self-improvement community or people that's just trying to improve their life in general will have a little bit more knowledge and aptitude about. I feel like this is something that's not as widely known unless you involve yourself or put yourselves in those type of communities, right? But it's not something that's like newfound or out of this world, right? It's something I'm pretty sure that has been around for a little while now, so it's not anything new, but I just feel like the mass majority may not have a grasp on what it is and what it is about, right? So let's get into it. What is the definition of the winter arc, right? The definition is a time to set goals, develop habits, and improve oneself before the new year. Definition of the winter arc. I pulled this from Google. That's the source that I got it from. I'll make sure to pop that up in the video also. And Google's definition goes into a little bit more depth. It's also another part to it that I left out on here, like I said, obviously for space. But to pretty much wrap it up all into one thing, right? The winter arc, right? When you think of winter, you think of, the cold, right? You think of the cold, you think of snow, depending on where you live, right? You think of the holidays, and that's essentially what it is, right? The winter arc is you using the most comfortable, and relaxing times. And instead of, falling into those things, being comfortable and relaxing, it's you using those months to try to improve yourself in the best way that you can in whatever aspect that you can, right? Whether that comes to YouTube, whether that comes to fitness, financing, getting closer with God, doing better with sports, just anything that you may be trying to improve in your life, right? You're using the coldest and darkest times of the month, and I'm pretty sure that's what Google said. I'll pop it up here. But you're using the coldest and darkest times of the month, the times, like I said, where people are comfortable, where people want to relax, when holidays are going on, people are chilling, they out and about. You using this time instead of doing that to try to grind and to try to improve yourself in every aspect that you can, right? So that's the overall definition, and that is the overall meaning of the winter arc, right? So with that being said, you may be asking, what are the rules of the winter arc and how do I participate in the winter arc, right? Now, when it comes to the rules of the winter arc, right, I feel like for the most part, it varies from person to person and what their needs is and what they are trying to improve in during these winter months, right? You can go through YouTube, Google, Reddit, TikTok, any media platform in general, right? Because I'm pretty sure that is where the winter arc was created, and that's where it started at, right? On the internet, right? So you could go through those different media platforms just to kind of get a gist of what the rules are. But like I said, most of it, I feel like, depends on who the person is and what their needs are to improve during these months, right? But I wrote down 5 rules that I feel like are kind of the standard and the most common rules that you would see, right? So starting with rule number 1, wake up no later than 8 o'clock, right? Now this one is pretty much self-explanatory, right? Obviously, if you are trying to maximize the most that you could get out of your day, if you are trying to get, a lot done in the day, to hit a lot of goals, hit a lot of checkpoints during the day, you're gonna need to wake up early. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Shortcuts to going about it, right? Obviously, some people are different. They can wake up later and still be able to get a lot done during the day, right? But obviously, if you want to be able to get that done while still staying disciplined and having somewhat of time schedule. And that's not to say that, people that wake up later in the day and decide to, work and do things later in the day, that they don't have a certain schedule either, right? I'm just saying, if you wanted to be more disciplined, it's better to wake up early in the morning, because for the most part, and if you being honest with yourself, you don't want to wake up that early in the morning, bro. You don't want to be up that early in the morning. You probably want to sleep in all morning, and you probably want to stay up all night. So this is one way automatically to discipline yourself, and to help further improve yourself through the winter arc, right? So you want to wake up no later than 8. Rule number 2, go to the gym 4 times a week, at least 4 times a week, right? Like I said before, right, during these winter months, right, most people are relaxing, they're eating whatever they want. The holiday is coming up. I know you got your little turkey, your little ham, your little sweet potato pie and all that and stuff. So most people are eating whatever. Most people are, just relaxing and not really probably taking the steps out to try to improve their bodies during these months, because like I said, this is where the months where most people are relaxing, kind of eating whatever they want because of the holidays, and they aren't really thinking about the gym that much, right? That's not to say that people aren't. I just feel like that's what most people are probably doing during these months, right? But the reason you want to train 4 times a week is you want to try to maximize, and get the most gains that you can during this time, right? Working out 4 times a week will have you be able to get more, stuff done, to be able to work on more things during the week, right? Obviously, if you're only working out 3 times a week, or even less, obviously, you won't be able to hit that many body parts. Now, obviously, that depends on what your training regimen is. You could do a full body workout. You could either do a full body workout, you could do an upper body workout, and then a lower body workout. It all depends on what your needs are and what you are going to train about, right? I said you want to try to be training at least 4 times a week. That way you can build up discipline to not only be consistent in the gym, but to also try to maximize the most that you can get out of going to the gym and working on every body part that you possibly can, right? That's rule number 2. Rule number 3, learn something new, right? And this doesn't have to just do with financing or learning a high income skill, right? Just dedicate at least an hour or 30 minutes to learning something new, right? Learning something that's actually going to be beneficiary towards your life, and something that's going to bring forth knowledge into your life, right? That may be you reading books more, you know what I mean? That may be you studying more, whether that be for a quiz, a test, if you're learning about the body, you know what I mean? Just anything that you may have aptitude to try to learn in, right? You want to always try to expand and grow your mind. You never want to be complacent. You never want to leave that part of the body dormant, right? So you always want to try to learn something new each day that you can. Like I said, at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. That way you can keep your mind sharp, keep it fresh, and like I said, you always are gaining newfound knowledge, right? Because without it, your brain just gonna be dormant, and you'll stay in the same place, right? So that's rule number 3, learning a new skill. Rule number 4, stay to yourself, right? Self-explanatory, right? Obviously, you don't want to be in people's faces 24/7, 365, right? You want to be able to focus these months that you have to improving yourself as much as you can. So that looks like you spending as much time to yourself as you possibly can, right? Now, I'm not saying to be a complete, room junkie. You just locked in your room 24/7 and you don't leave your room at all, right? Obviously, if you have family, Speak to your family. If you have friends, speak to them. You know what I mean? Don't be just a complete up, locked away type of dude, right? But that also doesn't mean that you want to be in people's faces 24/7, right? Because like I said, you want to be using these months to focus on yourself as much as possible. In order for you to do that, you need to spend more time with yourself. So that may require you taking a little bit more time away from social media, taking more time away from YouTube, gaming, hanging out with friends, just doing things that's gonna help better yourself, right? Not being a complete, room junkie, just locked in the room all the time, but just learn to put yourself first more, right? So that's rule number 4. Stay to yourself. Rule number 5, do not worry about women, right? Now, another, disclaimer, I guess you could say. If you are in a relationship, that does not mean cut off your girl, bro. Don't be dumb. Still be around your girl. Still spend time with her, right? I'm not saying to completely dump your girlfriend and leave her off to the side. No. Let's be smart, fellas. We not that dumb, alright? Don't ruin something that you may have good going on, right? But that doesn't mean that you should be all cuddled up 24/7, laying down in the bed or whatever that y'all may be doing, right? Still foster that relationship, still keep that relationship fresh and sharp, but also just take the time out that you need, like I said, in order to focus on yourself and to better yourself as much as possible. Now, if you are not in a relationship and you are not currently speaking to anybody, don't even worry about no females right now, bro. You need to be taking as much time as you can to focus on yourself. That's the whole point that I'm gonna be driving in during this video, and that's the whole point of the winter arc, focusing on yourself, right? If you are not currently in a relationship and if you are not currently talking to somebody, then you do not need to be worrying about that in general, right? Because that's just going to take away more time from you building up yourself and improving yourself as much as possible. Now, if by the grace of God, he sends somebody into your life during this time, I'm not saying to block that off either, right? If you know something good might foster and happen from this person, don't block that off. Don't block your blessings. But at the same time, don't get distracted with trying to talk to women and pursue women when you should be trying to focus on yourself during these times, right? So that's rule number 5. Don't worry about women. Rule number 6. Eat healthier, right? This is also another one that's pretty much self-explanatory, right? Like I said, especially during these times of the month, this is the most time where people will probably eat the most unhealthiest that they will during the year, right? Because you have a lot of holidays coming up, right? You have Thanksgiving coming up, you have Halloween coming up, you have Christmas coming up, right? So these are the primitive months of when you will probably eat the most unhealthiest during these months, right? So you want to try to watch what you intaking as much as possible, right? I'm not saying if you go to the little Thanksgiving function or you go to the Christmas function that you can't have your little ham, you can't have your little turkey, you can't have your little sweet potato pie, your little collard greens and all that. I ain't saying that you can't enjoy and harvest in that food, right? I'm just saying whenever that period passes, whenever you get done eating like that, make sure you locking right back in. You hopping right back on the dietary needs that you need for yourself in the diet that you are on, right? Whether that's if you are a carnivore, if you are a vegan, if you are a vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever it may be, just make sure you locking right back in on the dietary needs that you have and whatever diet that you may choose to do, right? So that's rule number 6. Eat healthier, right? So those right? So those are the 6 rules to the winter arc, and those are the majority and the common rules of the winter arc, right? So you may be asking me, right? What are my rules for the winter arc? What am I doing to improve myself during these winter months, right? Number 1, I am reading the Bible every day, right? As these coming months have come on and fostered upon me, I've been trying to grow and foster my relationship with Christ. So I have bought a Bible, and I have been trying to dedicate myself to reading the Bible every day and studying the Bible every day to grow closer with God and to grow my faith and to live my life more like Jesus Christ, right? So that is the number 1 rule and the number 1 thing that I'm doing during this winter arc, right? Reading the Bible every day. Rule number 2 for me is to start working out and eating healthier again, right? Now, I have experience with working out. It's not something that's, newfound to me or something that's new in general, right? It's something that I have experience with, and it's something that I've done before. But if I'm being honest with myself, if I had to say, in the past couple years, have I been actively in the gym, or have I been actively working out on my body as much as I can? No. You know what I mean? If I'm being honest with myself, I haven't, right? So I want to start getting into that more. I want to start, whether that's working out right here in the humble abode of my room, or getting a gym membership and starting to work out again in the gym, right? And also with the other part of that rule, right, is eating healthier again, right? As I am on the younger side, right, I'm 20 years old, I can get away with kind of eating a little less healthier since my metabolism is still moving faster, right? But that still doesn't just mean I should take advantage of that and just abuse it and not try to do the best that I can to eat healthy now and to nourish and to foster my body now. That way, when I get older, I'm not having as much health problems as I could have, right? So that's another part of that rule, right? Eating healthier, right? That's rule number 2. Rule number 3, staying off of my phone more, right? Now, obviously, the way I'm recording this video right now is on my phone, right? But this is me in my head and in my way being productive and actually using my phone towards a good use. But outside of recording videos and probably outside of studying the Bible and studying scriptures and just trying to gain new information in general, I do have a consumption problem, right? I consume too much YouTube, I consume too much TikTok, and I just consume too much media in general, right? And you can hold this accountable to yourself too, right? Whatever you may have, iPhone, Android, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Go to your settings and look at your screen time, right? If you are on your phone, I would say more than 3 hours a day, you on your phone too much and you need to take a break. Nobody should be on their phone more than at the very least, 4 to 5 hours a day. If you are using your phone more than that, then you are on your phone too much, right? And I could say this with myself personally, like I said, because I have a consumption problem. I have a media consumption problem, right? And it's something that I want to try to work on. That way I could focus on, improving myself and bettering myself and focusing on things that are actually conducive to being productive and forward in my life, right? So that's rule number 3, staying off of my phone. Rule number 4 is learning a new skill or learning that involves money, right? Learning a skill that I can use to not only foster and bring about new knowledge to myself, but something that I could use to also help other people or to also help myself also, right? I know I wrote the little money $ sign symbols on there too, right? So it's all pretty much what I'm saying is it's all a contributor of, those things. Learning something for newfound knowledge, learning something to better myself and to help other people, and trying to make some more money, right? So just learning new skills in general, like I said, in the general rules of the winter arc, right? Just learning a new skill, sharpen my mind, helping other people out, and figuring out some way to keep a little extra change in my pocket, right? So that's rule number 4, learning a new skill. Rule number 5 for me is Rule number 5 is staying consistent on YouTube, right? Now, with myself, I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job of trying to stay consistent and push out as many videos as I can to keep myself relevant, right? Obviously, I'm not perfect. I have my moments where I slip up, where I could be uploading more, where I may be taking a break and not capitalizing on uploading on YouTube as much as I can. But in these past couple months, I've been trying to be more self-aware and more self-conscious about that. That way I could keep myself out there. That way, I'm staying as consistent as possible, right? So what I've kind of been doing now, I kind of been uploading 3 videos at least every 2 weeks, right? But I could try to ramp that up, right? I could try to upload maybe 2 videos every week, right? Or upload a video a week. You know what I mean? Or uploading 4 videos or 5 videos, a week, or, every 2 weeks. That would probably be more realistic and more doable for me, obviously, because, I work full time at a job, right? But that's not an excuse also, right? Still just trying to use whatever little time that I can to try to be as consistent as possible, right? So that's rule number 5, right? So that was me kind of breaking down what are the rules of Winter Arc, what Winter Arc is, and what are my rules about it, right? But with all this being said, the closing message to this video, right, is to not just do this during the winter, right? To not just do this during the cold months, right? This is a callback to the title of the video, right? It's not just a season, it's a lifestyle. You want to be doing this for the rest of your life, not just during the cold months, of the year, right? You want to be trying to always improve yourself, always better yourself, and always find, new things about yourself, to learn new things, and just to capitalize, on yourself as much as you can, right? Don't just try to do this during the winter or when you see other people doing it, right? That's a beautiful thing, and that's the thing I love to see. That's not a bad thing. I love to see people taking the dedicated time out of, whatever months or days that it may be, and just working on themselves as much as they possibly can, right? To lift one another up while they're going through this too, right? To help another person out. You know what I mean? To go on a journey along with somebody else, right? I love to see that, and I will never knock that. I love that, and that's something great. But don't just use that as an excuse to do this during this time. You want to be doing this for the rest of your life. You want to be trying to do this as consistently as you can, right? Not everybody is perfect. People will slip up. I will slip up. I will fail. I will mess up. And there will be moments where I'm not as consistent as I would like to be. But that doesn't mean that I should just only use it during the cold times of the month, right? I should be trying to do this for, the eternity of my life, or for the rest of my life. That way I can always be improving and always trying to better myself, right? So with that being said, that's what I want to come on here and talk about. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you're doing to better yourself and improve yourself during the winter arc. With that being said, peace out.